following program is classified G. It's suitable for all ages.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us on Business Best, and this is a platform where we showcase the best in the business, and we will be introducing to you people who have excelled in their particular field in order to showcase their latest developments in their respective industry, and also individuals who have had dreams and come up with ways and means to achieve these dreams. So today on the show we'll be talking about this interesting product, I would say, which is buzzing the internet all these days and months. And with that introduction, I would like to introduce you to Eyaz Fazul, who's the founder of Rother. Eyaz, thank you very much for making some time to join us on the show today amidst your very busy schedule. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me.
So to start off our discussion, Eyaz, why don't you tell our audience all about Rother and what this product is all about and why it's buzzing in the internet these days?
So Rhoda, by means it's Rother. So it's basically what we want to do is to make it easy and simple for people to move around within a city. So solution, if you're putting technically, solution to sustainable urban mobility. That's how we say it. But simply it's just to, if you want to go from point A to point B, what is the most easiest, most convenient, most sustainable, most economical, and something when you move, you look good. What is that way? And that is what we built our company around. So that is Rhoda. So Rhoda again is a Sinhalese word. It's a Sri Lankan, so it's designed and made in Sri Lanka because we want to emphasize that you can bring a solution from outside and plug it in here, or you can design something for the existing problems and solve that one. So that's what we design, something that is for the Sri Lankan context, by Sri Lankans for Sri Lanka.
So this is basically an e-bike.
So the first product from Rother, the company, is the Rother AT, which is an electric smart bicycle. So it's an electric bicycle that is easier to pedal. So because there's a motor and a battery, you can go further distance, 70 kilometers without sweating, dropping a sweat. But it's a smart bicycle because you can it connects to the internet. You can actually lock it and unlock it with your Face ID, your Touch ID, and you can pedal it. You can, like a normal bicycle, you can pedal it, or you can accelerate like a normal motorcycle. You have 4 hours of full charge, costs about 10 rupees. In days like this, where 30 rupees or something for one bus halt, I'm going for 10 rupees, I'm going 60 kilometers every day, because that's my go-to transport. Even right now, I came in that today. So that's basically how, it was a solution for this one, and the first product is the Rhoda AT.
Right, so why did you want to come up with this idea in the first place? What triggered you?
Triggered me is being stuck in the bus. Right, being squashed in the bus. You know, I went to school in a bus. I went to university in a bus. My first job I did it in a bus. And my first thing that I bought once I started saving money is a motorcycle. Even though everybody was buying smartphones, right? Because even though I wanted a smartphone and speak to those significant others, I wanted to first be able to move around. That is the important part. So that was what I bought, and I bought an old Honda vintage motorcycle, right? Because I wanted it to look good. I didn't want to buy a typical standard bike, because that's not how I am, right? And then everything is nice about an old bike except for the fact that it's leather-ready, so it's a lot of problems. It has a lot of problems. So after some time, I was given a vehicle by the company. I was driven around. I went to pick-me's. And every way, it wasn't just convenient. It wasn't just the right way. It didn't feel like sustainable. Like my old bike, and although it's amazing, everything is so good about it, it always has breakdowns. It always has cars. You don't have to tell. 3 wheels, have to tell, right? So this is all before the problems. When we started, when I ideated this, it was in about 2017. That's when we actually came up with the concept. But now we are in a whole different paradigm where mobility or commuting is a nightmare to millions of people, right? Millions of people. So, and when I am riding around so comfortably every day, coming to work, dancing and singing when I'm on my bikes, I feel bad. And I feel a sense of responsibility also, because I need to be able to propagate or give this solution to the masses. So that is why I'm doing this, because fundamentally, initially it was just a problem for me, and then I knew that, okay, if it's a problem for me, it must be a problem for other people, just getting around. But now it has become a thing where I cannot stop. There's so many things, so much things happening in the world right now, especially in Sri Lanka, but you can't stop because the problem is evident. So
you started this business last year properly, initiated this.
2020.
2020. Okay, so did you know that we were going to be experiencing an economic crisis? Because I feel now this product is ideal at this situation because we are going through a fuel crisis as well. Did you have any idea?
I did have a prediction that I knew that we were subsidizing fuel, right? And I knew that the market cost of fuel right now in Sri Lanka, at any time in Sri Lanka versus the world market, was always disconnected. When the fuel prices were, when you see news in the world market, the fuel prices going up, Sri Lanka is always stable. So I figured there was something there, but I really didn't get into it until I started doing my research for Rother. When I did research for Rother, I realized that there is a huge disconnect. So when the price comes to the point, obviously I realized that there is going to be issues with regards to the fuel, right? But I didn't know about the economic crisis. I just knew that fuel was going to be very expensive, and people are going to actually switch to other more sustainable ways, which is one of the reasons why we chose electric. Because electric, if you charge it through solar, you have no cost at all. So, and then it got worse, and 2020 is actually when I actually started it, and that was the peak corona, and that was at that time I was so motivated to do is because people stopped using the bus early. I'm talking about March, April, people, like it was lockdown, and after that I was like, how are people going to use the bus because corona fears. But then that evolved into something else, so but that doesn't and every time it gets better for Rhoda. Every time the price goes up, we make like millions, right? When the price goes up in fuel, right? So it's not bad for us, right? But it's just that we need to find a solution to the common man, and that's where we're heading, for solution for the common man.
Right now, Eyaz, cycling is not very popular here in Sri Lanka. Now, when you take other countries, people even cycle to go on hikes or go on trips or just to tour their country. But here it's not very popular. So where did you see cycling going in a few years' time?
Cycling is very popular in countries where, for example, it's a flat terrain, right? Mostly if you're going on a flat terrain, you have dry air, right? It's a very good choice. And where in Sri Lanka is cycling very popular is in Jaffna, because it's a flat terrain and very dry air, not humid, so you don't sweat, so you can cycle. Even though it's hot sun, you don't really feel it when it's dry and flat. But when it's like in especially Colombo, right? Where do you live?
In Jaila.
Jaila. So you know how it's like up and down. You have all these small hills that it's not very flat. So what happens is, because I go down that road, I know that routes, right? You need something sort of assistance, right? Which is why we build an electric bicycle that even up, down or whatever, it's easy. So cycling was pushed to a poor man's transport because it was sweaty, you're humid, you're going to come to office, it's like all sweaty and whatnot. This was told to him by Dr. Amal Kumarage from the University of Moratuwa. He's the logistics professor there. He was telling me how in 1970s it was very popular, cycling. But then officers started, AC camera started, and then that really pushed the bicycle to a lower class, like poor man's transport kind of solution. But now again it's picking up because there's no other option. So like more bicycles, I'm sure if you've seen in the road now, no more bicycles. There are very popular food delivery people doing in bicycles. But it's not sustainable because it's very difficult. I don't believe that it's very safe environments for them to be working in those hot suns, riding up those hills with a big backpack in their hand. It's very difficult. So cycling in Sri Lanka doesn't work. I am not a cyclist per se. So, but electric cycling is a different story. It's easy, it's convenient, you know, it's fun, right? You said friends and family and tours and whatnot. The only time you would see cycle gangs is in Vesak. That's because everybody's going together. They're like, even if we go, it's fine, we're going together. But with this Rother, it's not hard anymore to go the stretch. You will see more and more gangs. We are already creating this small community of people who are going to go on tours together, who go on gangs together. So you will see, and that's why we call Rother life. So our website is rother.life. It's because it's a lifestyle. You will see more and more people getting together, coming and then creating that cycling culture. And also, if you look at electric bikers, normally they are ugly. If you see what that comes from China, they are ugly, small tires, very like this steering wheel, small tire. And I am not that kind of guy. I would never ride one of those, right? So I'm not a cyclist, nor will I ride Chinese motorcycles. So bicycles, electric bicycles, then what do we need to do? We need to build something that is bold, something that fits our personality, something that fits my personality. So if you look at our bike, it's fat tires, right? Big steering wheel. So when you're riding, you're chest out and you're riding with fun, right? It's a head turner, so much so that even if it's a small child, like a baby, toddler, and even a grandmother would look at it and will be staring at it. Why? Because we wanted that. It looks good. We are a country that rides Prados and Allianz, right? If you go and ask, oh, this is a bicycle, they won't buy it, right? So we had to normalize the idea, which is why our bicycle is costly, a bit more expensive, and then also looks like that, because we need to change that narrative. But in the future, everything is going to go cycling. From food delivery, from a movement community, everything is going to go to cycling, right? Because we are a small country, we're a small city. Any city you go in Sri Lanka, everything is 10 kilometers away. Anything you want is 10 kilometers away. So why do we need cars? We can cycle in electric bicycle too. So in the future, you're going to see Kandy just empty of cars, devoid of cars. The new, I'm 100% sure, the new mayor, or if it's a next generation mayor, comes there, first thing he will say is not allow cars into Kandy city. That's going to happen, right? So just like that, all these cities are going to start moving towards a more cycling culture. So in the future, e-cycling is the future, right? That is definite, and we would love to be part of that growth and in normalizing the idea of cycling in Sri Lanka.
Right, yes, we are having a very interesting conversation, and I like the fact that you're answering these questions with utter confidence. And to continue this discussion, before that, we'll have to go into a short commercial break. You're watching Business Best. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to Business Best, and we are in discussion with Eyaz Fazul, the founder of Rhoda. And I think in the first segment, Eyaz, you gave a very good introduction to what Rhoda is all about and where cycling is going to be in the next future. Now, something what people have been asking about and they are very keen to know is about the pricing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, initially when y'all started the business, y'all started off at 1,29,000, but as of now, it's been priced to just over 300,000. How are you coping with this? Now, I know the demand for this is really high, and you just mentioned, like just before our show started, you told that you have a little problem with supply. And how do you think people will take it right now? Because there was a drastic shift in pricing as well.
We never changed the price, right? We never increased the price, right? 70% of our value is imported, right? Because the battery motor are very expensive. So, and when we started this, the $129,000, 100,000 rupees, our dollar is about, I think it was about 180 or something like that, right? At that time, our mission was which is we are unitary vision, we had to keep the price under $1,000. That was the plan, right? So when we did the prototype, we did the pricing, we realized, okay, 129 seems to be a right price to begin. So under $1,000, that's about $750 or something like that. But when we did the production and whatnot, and this, and we realized, that's not enough. It needs to be about $850. So we increased $100, and that was 169,000. So at that time, the dollar rate was 204 rupees, so 203 rupees. So we're like 100 again, under 200,000, which was again the target. Under $1,000, which was the world market standard. We are under the world market. So we want to make sure, again, competitive pricing for the world market also, for the Sri Lankan market also, make sure, and we sold it at 169,000 rupees. Then all hell went loose, right? Now the dollar is at 366, double the amount, right? So we just adjusted for inflation. In time between January and March, we actually, there was a situation where one of our suppliers, our battery supplier, said the price is going to increase by 30%. Their prices, their battery. Battery is one of the significant portions of our imports, right? And so then we had to increase that 30%. So we increased another $100. So it was $830, now it's $930. But the price went from 169,000 to 339,000. Sri Lankan price. So all we did is we adjusted for inflation. We never increased the price, right? So yes, there are a lot of people, if you go to our social media, yes, a lot of people complain. But equally, there's also people defending, saying that people think just because the demand is high, I've been accused of being a typical businessman trying to capitalize on the market and try to. But if you look at our dollar pricing, we actually did a nice TikTok video of it and it went viral. Basically saying that we just adjusted for inflation, and everybody's doing. And we did it so much so that we had to cancel orders from January to March because we couldn't service at that price. Because if we were going to do that, we were making 120, 130,000, 170,000 in some cases per bike. 170,000 loss. This was the price before. So we couldn't. So we were like, what do we do? So our option is adjust the price to the current inflation rate, and hopefully we will bring it down, and basically hopefully there's people, and also we want to introduce financial methods to pay this one. So we're focusing on that, right? Yes, I'm not going to lie, the price is high, right? I would be if I wasn't making Rhoda, I would consider getting in. But okay, what are the financial options that is accessible to everybody? So we're starting to work. Right now we have loans and credit cards, right? We have credit cards, Salam Bank, which is an amazing deal, where Salam Bank is going to actually pay 30% of the bike in cost. They are paying you. So they want us to put in a fixed deposit, earn the interest, and then also make it into a 24 months interest-free installment, and they will pay. So the total interest-free installment is about $14,000. They are paying $5,000 from the fixed deposit interest component. You only pay 9,000 rupees. So 30% is covered. So we are creating those systems. So through loans and credit cards, eventually we will do hire purchase, we will do leasing, we are focused on that. So we're not devoid of the problem, make a thamai price taker, get whatever you want. No, we're trying to understand the customer and we will give a solution. Your problems will come that we have no control of, but how do we fix the solution? We will make on a solution. And demand has been great. Amazing, right? Overwhelming, right? Supply, yes. Sri Lanka is facing because of the economic crisis, supply is very hard. The world supply chain is gone to this one because it's really bad. The world is experiencing recession, the world is experiencing inflation, not just us. So everything is just adding up. Starting a business in Sri Lanka during COVID is hard. Startup is hard. Startup in COVID is hard. Harder. Startup COVID in a political crisis is harder. Startup with COVID in an economic crisis is much harder. So it's hard. But like I said, there are people outside standing in the sun, struggling to get around, right? This is the motivation, regardless of whatever happens, to keep going. So we will keep going.
All right, yes. But still the question arises, affordability. Do you think people will be able to afford this Rother?
30 rupees, your commute. Can you imagine going in a tuk right now to Jayala? No. What is the cost right now? What,
yeah,
2,000 bucks?
Even more.
Before it used to be what? 5,000?
Yes.
Less than 1,000. So then, think about it like that. Bus halt is 35 rupees. One bus halt. Rother, for 10 rupees, you can go 60 kilometers. That is if you're charging at home. If you buy a bicycle, you come and charge it at office, now that 10 rupees is also gone. So you are literally commuting for free. Commuting for free versus 3,000 rupees or something like that for a tuk. So that's the affordability. Look at it like that. Don't look at the price tag here. CapEx is going to be half, yes, difficult, but the operation expenses, like it's uncomparable.
All right. Another question now. I think we are running out of time as well. But before we end, could you tell us a little bit about your design? Now, most of the parts I feel that they are imported. But with this economic crisis, do you think that you will be able to import parts in the future? Because I'm pretty sure just in case if they meet with an accident or they need to repair this bike for something. So do you think you'll be having the available parts for this?
The available parts needed for this, obviously, there is, like I said, 70% is imported. Yes, it is difficult. It has been difficult to bring it down, right? But we've actually done some fixes, working with, in partnership with some dollar earners, working in partnership by raising money in dollars and basically somehow working on fixing the solution. And I know the government is going to back us. I know this. Why? Not because I have some fake confidence, is that the Minister of Industry is going to come to our factory. I don't know when it's going to be aired, but on Wednesday he's actually coming to our factory. Our startup, small, humble factory, the Minister of our country is coming, right? He chose to come there, right? So we believe that the government will support us in this regard because it has to be done like that. It has to be a collaboration. We're not depending on the government, but we know that with the crisis going on and the fact that the Minister of Industry has reached out, said that we're going to come to your factory, shows that there is confidence for us to build this, because this is a solution, right? And we will take whatever help people are giving you. Just like how you called me, insisted I kept coming. Why you're doing it? Because you want to promote us as the Rhoda brand. Why are you doing this? Because you know this is a solution for the country, right? Just like that, there are so many other supporters who are doing the so many things, which we are grateful for from the bottom of our heart. Because we all know that this is a problem that we need to solve. And so I want to thank you for that, for bringing us and giving me the exposure. Derana, I think I've been like on four other programs of Derana, and I think, and everything, people will think, like I must be getting like a cut from Derana or whatever they are giving. But no, it has been completely just, we will give you maximum exposure. For free, for nothing. This kind of 20 minutes discussion, I'm sure you must be charging thumping amounts from your ad agencies. Here I am coming and happily sharing my brand, my pricing, my this, and marketing the product. And you're giving me us the opportunity, right? So for that, I am forever grateful.
And for my last question, thank you again for appreciating our invitation, but also my final question to you. Now, Rother is not the only e-bike. There are so many other electric vehicles out there. Why do you think Rother is special, and why do you think people should choose Rother specifically?
When you say electric vehicles, you mean bicycles or electric vehicles?
Bikes.
Bikes. The market, first thing, let me phrase this is, market is $1 billion, $1.2 billion, last time I checked, in Sri Lanka alone. Huge market. Or close to 1.2 million people can actually buy a Rhoda and get an electric bike, or at this price range we're talking about. From that, we're only looking to cater 100,000 bikes in Sri Lanka, manufactured in the next 5 years. So 100,000 we cover, there's 1.1 million people still need electric bikes. So the market is potential is there. Competition is only going to keep us at edge. From a technology, from an innovation. If we sit down, there is no competition, we will be happily just doing whatever we want to do. But people accuse price gouge maybe in the future, but no. Competition should come, it will come, and I've been encouraging all the banks also, if there are other competitors, please give that same option, that financial option that you gave us, that credit card to them also. Because there has to be a variety. It's not just one bike, one road. But out of the whole thing, I will tell you, Rother is the coolest ride on town. You're going to ride a Rother, it's going to even look cooler than an Aston Martin that is next door. And I know this for a fact, because I've gone on a Rother and I've seen like guys in Aston Martin, and they want to show their colors to me. So Rother, because we are designing on life. What are the principles of life? It's not just about a product. It's about lifestyle change. Right? It's about hanging out with friends. It's about community. So there are many things that we were doing through Rhoda with the smartphone app. We didn't have to do it. from a technology. We're pushing the boundaries. We're pushing the world classes. We announced it just after Ducati did their electric bicycle and just before Harley Davidson introduced their electric bicycles. So we were not late to the market. We are not catching up. We are not following anybody. We were trying to be pioneers. We will keep pushing that. And if you want to join our journey, right? And I know there will be. I know people love our product, right? So yeah, but there has to be options for other people who don't want to, you can go in small vehicles. You can use those bicycles also. China will come and flood this market once they import this one, for sure. But the market is huge. Potential is huge. And it's Rhoda at the end of the day. It's Rhoda. It's a Sri Lankan name. How can you say no to that? You know?
All right, Eyaz. Now we've come to the end of our program as well, and thank you for sharing your ideas with us, and I wish you all the very best for the future as well.
Thank you very much for having me, and you asked some very interesting questions, and I'm glad I was able to answer that. Thank you.
All right, that was our episode on Business Best. We will be back again next week with a brand new service or product that will interest you, and this is a platform where we introduce people like these innovators who have basically had a dream and find out means and ways to achieve them. And eventually it benefits us in a way as well. Just in case you couldn't watch us on air, you can always rewatch by catching us on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Derana English. I'm Suzanne Shanadi. Stay safe and have a good night.